Hi, good evening. My name is Andrew Bashton. I'm the owner and chief instructor with Pikes Peak Tactical. I'm also a student with SDI. Today we'll be going over FTT 114, our custom Kydex Lab. We're going to be picking up from where we left off last time. This week we're going to be going over how to block our mold, how to measure the Kydex we need, how to heat the Kydex, and then how to press the mold out. So, let's get going. Alright, so we're going to be going over how to make a mold for a Springfield XD subcompact. So, because we don't have a blue gun, we have to use the actual gun. Because of that, okay, this is a polymer pistol, so we're going to need to use a magazine when it comes to pressing the mold. But because we're working with a live firearm, or an actual firearm, we need to make sure it's not live. We want to make sure that there's no ammunition. So we're going to visually and manually inspect the chamber and the breech, make sure there's nothing in there. Again, nothing loaded in the magazine, as well as not having live ammunition around our workspace. So, now that we've cleared the gun, we can begin blocking this in. Before filming, I went ahead and pre-made a lot of the blocks I'm going to be using, just to help save us some time. So. So it's not a pretty mold, but it should do what we need to do. I'm going to run the Safariland locking system on this, so that's why I have this blocked out, as well as I'm going to hook it up to a QLS holster, or a QLS system. So I made it compatible for the Safariland holes, so we can get those drilled out afterwards. But this is our mold. Now, as far as measuring the Kydex, let's do that real quick. So, the shiny side of the Kydex is going to be the side that goes towards the gun. Now, to measure this out, what I did, you can see I already have pencil marks. I basically gave myself just a bit of room past the slide. I covered all the way up to the end of the slide because of this device. I want to make sure I have enough Kydex up top to cover that. So I give myself enough room there with probably, I want to say, at least an inch past, so I can do a retention hook or a retention screw or two. Put down, same thing. Line's here, should come to here. I got about an inch or so past the trigger guard. So score this. Well, this is going to be the piece that makes up our rough holster. So this here, textured side, is going to be the exterior of the holster. So ideally it's going to wrap around. Now, what I want to do is eventually, the goal of this holster, so once I have my retention is going to run to about here. Probably about here, depending on how much I get for that screw. Now, because I have magazine release, my magazine releases on my Safarilands are all exposed. So I'm going to trim up and around that. Kind of follow the contour of that grip. With the side, same thing. I'm going to follow past the contour of the grip right there. And I'm going to come up over top. Let's go ahead and put this in the oven. Alright, so pay attention to what side I put in here. I'm going to put the cut edge out. And I'm just going to put it just over the edge of the rack right there. Because doing my research for this project, I learned that once that starts to curl, that's when I want to pull it out. So I have my temperature set to 350. I'm going ahead and set my timer. 20 minutes. I'm going to monitor this and make sure I watch this to make sure it doesn't start to warp. Alright, so while I'm waiting for the Kydex to heat up, since I can't move my camera 2 places, got my foam ready, got my mold ready, I've got my clamps ready. That way once that Kydex is ready to come out, I can pull it out right away. Just like that. Alright. Doesn't take very long at all to heat that Kydex. So, we're going to let that set for the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Alright, so about 10 minutes has gone by, probably closer to 15, 20. We're going to take these clamps off and see how our holster looks. Well, it doesn't have quite the definition we want, nor does it have quite the location we want. So, thankfully, because it's Kydex, we're going to go again. Alright, so after reheating the Kydex, we're going to try this again. See if we get a little bit more of a tighter, more detailed fit. Ooh, I already like it better. Alright, still cool. This will fit. Retention point for drop. Plenty of detail for my mold. I'll trim off down here or hit with a heat gun and then remold it tighter, but nice and clean, even with the end of the slide, just how I wanted it. Plenty of room over here for a retention screw, maybe 2 of them. Yeah, we'll be alright. Cool. Let's pull this bad boy out. Yeah. So I'll put my retention screw down here. What I might do is with the heat gun, wrap this over, close up that gap, just press it in there nice and tight. Let's sand up. So right here we see where our magazine release is. So I know I'm going to want to cut around that. Boom. There we have it. Like I said, I'll remold this front end. Maybe kick it out just a hair. Because I think because of this. I think this piece right here is the reason why this kind of a little janky, but we'll get that sorted out. That's easy enough. So, verify again, physically inspect. Obviously it holds, but just trim that away, it'll hold nicely. Put our release device up here.
And that way you can use a thumb lock to break that down and do what you gotta do. So, that's our Kydex mold. Stay tuned for next week when we go ahead and clean the whole thing up.